Whether you're a grocery shopper, do food deliveries, or a rideshare driver, gig work can be fun, frustrating, and rewarding. But there are some dangers lurking out there. I'm Brian, outside police headquarters, with some tips to help keep you safe. Let's hit it. I'm joined by Officer Mike Wood. He's the spokesman for the Pensacola, Florida Police Department, and I've gotten to know Mike over my years in media work here in Pensacola, and I could not think of a better guy to talk to you about some tips to help keep you safe. Mike, welcome to the Instacart Bulldog channel.
Thank you. Good to be here.
All right. So gig work is busy this time of year. We're getting into the Christmas season, but regardless of that, throughout the year, I see a lot of things that gig workers are doing that put themselves in danger. I wanted to talk with you about a few things that people can do. I'm thinking, number one, cars. Cars are our livelihoods. Without them, we can't make a living. But yet, I see people do things like leave their cars running all the time.
Yeah.
Going up to somebody's door to deliver an Uber Eats order or something. What's some advice for you?
Well, first of all, it's against the law in the state of Florida and most states to leave your vehicle running, especially unlocked with the keys in it. And in some cases, if that vehicle is stolen, insurance companies will not cover that because you left the keys in it. So that's something to be mindful of.
All right. And this also presents a crime of opportunity, doesn't it?
It does. You could have somebody that's walking down the street that had no intention of committing a crime, and they see that vehicle running, and a lot of times the door open and they just can't help themselves. They're going to get in it and they're going to go for a joyride for a few blocks and then dump it.
All right, so for a lot of people, it just seems more efficient for them just to leave it running because they're going to take a couple steps to the door over here. Why start and restart the car, right? They think that's going to add to their wear and tear.
Yeah, but think about what could happen, and you know what? If you don't have a vehicle, you can't really do your job. So it's not worth it. Shut it off. I mean, if you look at UPS drivers, they go from one house to the next. They have to shut that vehicle off. It doesn't matter if they travel 15 feet. They have to shut it off again. And we don't have any reports of stolen UPS trucks ever.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. So one of the things that I do, again, even if someone is coming out to meet me at the curbside, when I step out of the car to hand them the items, I shut off the car and I put my keys in my pocket. That's probably good advice too. If you're going to shut off your car, take the keys with you.
Yeah, shut off the car, and if you don't put them in your pocket, keep them in your hand, because a key is a great weapon should you need it.
Oh, explain how.
You hold it between your fingers, and it's something that can be used as an edged weapon if you need it. We teach that in personal safety to all kinds of folks all the time about keeping those keys in your hand and to be used as a weapon should you need to get away.
And they also have those panic buttons on there too that may help draw attention to
Absolutely,
the situation.
that's something else that you can keep your thumb on.
There's also been a lot of stories in the news around the country about carjackings. You know, Uber drivers, Lyft drivers. Different parts of the country have had this issue. I don't know if carjackings is a big issue around here, but in general, what should people do if they're faced with that kind of a potential carjacking situation?
Okay, first of all, be aware of your surroundings. Look around, make eye contact with anybody that you see. That prevents a lot of that. But if you should be approached by a person that's going to force you to give up your vehicle, give it up. It's property. Let them have it. You sure don't want to get into an altercation with them where you could get hurt.
Yeah, there was a case out of Atlanta recently where someone had left their car running and somebody jumped in and tried to get out, take off with it. She tried to interfere. She ended up getting hurt in the process. And that, yeah, again, we're talking about people's lives here at stake.
Yeah, it happens all the time. People trying to save that vehicle. It's one thing if you left a child in that vehicle, and that's totally different. But if it's just the car, let them have it. It's not worth the altercation.
You talked about being aware of your surroundings. A lot of us are driving into neighborhoods we may be less familiar with. GPS takes us right there, so it's easy for us to do that. But what should people do when they're entering a neighborhood or pulling up to somebody's house?
Well, you have to ask yourself, how many times have you pulled into that neighborhood and you had that gut feeling? Everybody has that gut feeling. It comes with you when you're born. A lot of times that gut feeling is right. If you feel like this is an area that's not good, that things could go wrong, is it really worth that gig? You have to ask yourself that.
Yes, so trust your instincts.
Absolutely.
Okay, so if something feels wrong, it's probably wrong.
Right. A lot of times they want you to come in there, maybe to carjack that vehicle, maybe to rob you. Most of the time it's going to be a legit gig, but if you have that gut feeling that something's wrong, I would turn around.
One of the things that I've read also is how people can sometimes change their addresses. Oh, by the way, that's the wrong address, deliver over to here. That could be a red flag, couldn't it?
That's a huge red flag. They did that for a reason. Again, that gut feeling, those instincts, use them.
Some of the rideshare and delivery companies are now putting different safety features in their apps, I guess to get contact with the police or some other resources might be available. Has anybody talked to locals around here about that?
We're familiar with that. I don't know that it's ever been used. We've had phone calls mostly from rideshare drivers when they've had someone that's unruly in the vehicle or that gave them a hard time. But usually, by the way it's designed, drivers can tell if this person has been a problem before or if this person is a good legitimate rider.
So let's talk about potential robbery. What should we do if somebody comes up to you and says, give me your wallet, give me your phone, whatever?
Give it to them. Do a couple of things though. Be a good witness, pay attention to what they're wearing. If there's anybody with them, we're going to need a description. So be a good witness, don't be a hero. Give them what they want. The only time we will suggest you fighting is if someone wants you to go with them to another location. If they force you into their vehicle or if they force you into your own vehicle, you need to fight because they're going to take you to a location that we probably will not find you for weeks or months. If they're going to hurt you, you're going to need to make them do it right there. Fight right there to stay there. That way we can get you help immediately should you need it.
Also want to talk about reporting crimes. Sometimes just the small things don't matter to a lot of people, but should they report even just the theft of a small item from their car that they may have seen or suspect?
Brian, that's a huge issue, and I'm glad you brought that up. It doesn't matter how small it is. What matters to the police is that it happened, and it probably happened in other areas. And when that incident gets reported to us, we're able to map it, and then we know that we have a problem area and we can concentrate on that area. If you never tell us, we don't know the crime happened, we can't map it. So it's very important, no matter what happened, even if nothing was stolen, if there was an issue, we need to know about it.
Exactly. Now you talked about being a good witness, and that is getting a description of somebody. What are some things that people can do with their eyes or ears?
Mainly, we want to know the race, how tall they are, and maybe what they weighed, because they can shed clothing easily. But a clothing description is something that we would also like. But pay attention to things that they can't switch out so fast. Maybe shoes. Again, the race, the height, the weight, the gender. Those are things we need to know right off the bat.
Maybe even tattoos or facial features.
Yeah. Tattoos, facial hair, anything like that.
Something that a lot of us will do out of necessity, others avoid it entirely, and I don't blame them at all. Night deliveries. There's probably some special dangers that present themselves at night. What are some things that people need to know?
Again, trust your instincts. The area that you're in, people commit crimes at night because of cover. That's a red flag. Is this person ordering this particular thing at this time of day? And if that concerns you, again, that's a red flag. Use that gut instinct and ask yourself, is that drop off or is that gig worth it?
I did a video recently about flashlights. You can carry small flashlights that fit in your pocket that can light up the whole front of a house. Perhaps maybe if they don't have a flashlight, maybe aiming their car in such a way that they can light the pathway to the house?
Yeah, that's a good idea. Aim your car, your headlights toward the house, toward the area where this person is going to be coming out. And think about maybe getting a dash cam. Those things are really, really cheap now, and it documents everything. That's a good idea to have something like that.
Officer Mike Wood, Pensacola Police Department. If people have any further questions, they should probably contact their local police department, right?
Yeah, contact law enforcement, especially again on the vehicles being left running. I think most of you will find that that's illegal in your jurisdiction, but you can check to find out. Anyway, the best way to be safe is to take those keys out of the vehicle, keep them in your hand to use as a possible weapon, or keep your thumb on that key fob in case something goes wrong. You can sound that alarm.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you again to Officer Mike Wood, spokesman for the Pensacola Police Department. I appreciate his time, and I appreciate you watching. Please like this video and share it with other gig tubers so that we can help keep them safe as well. Thank you again to all the new subscribers who are joining this week and those who have been with me for some time now. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so and click the notification bell so you don't miss any more of my tips for bigger tips and better ratings and other useful information to help keep you safe and successful. I'm Brian, Instacart Bulldog. Until next time, go get 'em!